head. Okay, now you may choose, of course, to go into other fields, commerce, law, journalism, whatever other field you may choose. What I want to, or what we want to do today is we want to show you how interesting things can be, right? And how everyone, irrespective of their field, should have a basic knowledge and a basic understanding and a basic fascination with how things work and what is happening around us. Okay? So out of the multitude of phenomena that exist in our nature, I have chosen one which I find very fascinating to discuss with you today. Right? I think I'll take around 25 minutes to half an hour to show you this concept which was first worked out by a scientist called Bernoulli. The pronunciation is, but if you go with the pronunciation of the English spelling of the name, it will, or should I call it Desi pronunciation, would be Bernoulli, right? The actual pronunciation is Bernoulli. Okay, so now before we go into that, okay, I will just ask a couple of questions, and please answer yes or no by typing in the chat window, right? Okay. So question number one is that, do you know that everything in this world, or at least everything around us, is made up of atoms and molecules, right? Do you know this? Everybody knows this, or there is somebody who does not? Everything in this universe, everything at least around us, is made up of atoms and molecules. Okay, everything. So it is all very nice, saying that everything is made up of atoms and molecules, and your science teacher will come and they will explain that, look, everything is made up of atoms and molecules, and they will explain how to calculate various things, how to work out various things using this fact. But I want to show you something which is a direct consequence of this fact, that everything is made up of atoms and molecules. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the concept of temperature. Right now, you have been exposed to the concept of temperature since the very beginning, right? You remember, we used to hate the thermometers. मुंह में thermometer डाल के, the temperature was taken, and that was very disconcerting. Sorry. So, what is temperature, right? Let me put a different spin on it. Let me show it to you in a different way. So temperature is nothing but a measure of the motion of the molecules, right? Now this may seem to be a very weird statement, but it is absolutely true. So if I put my hand in boiling water, right, my hand will burn. Why will it burn? Simply because the motion of the molecules is very, very fast because the temperature is high. Okay. And what is going to happen is that the molecules, they are going to hit my hand with such a force that they are going to destroy the cells of my hand, and my hand is going to get burned. Okay, right? And I want to show this to you. I mean, I cannot show the actual molecules, actual atoms, of course, but I can show you a video in which this happens, right? Okay. So this is the thing. You look at the temperature, right? And the temperature is high, so the motion of the molecules is very vigorous. As the temperature comes down, the motion of the molecules is not so vigorous now, right? And that is why basically, if you know something about absolute zero pe all motion will stop. But here they are not showing that. So as the temperature goes up again, you see, the motion of the molecules again increases. It becomes more vigorous, right? Okay. So I think we'll play that video again. So look at the temperature, look at the motion of the molecules. What is happening? As the temperature decreases, the motion of the molecules decreases. As the temperature increases, the motion of the molecules increases. If you were to put your hand inside this, all these molecules will be hitting your hand, okay? And whatever the consequences of that will be, your hand at least will have to face, okay? For the moment, our hand is not in there, right? Therefore, मेरे हाथ को तो कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, but look at the walls of the container, right? Look at the walls of the container. The molecules are hitting the walls of the container, and therefore the walls of the container is experiencing a force. Okay? Look at the molecules hitting the walls of the container, right? Okay. And if the walls of the container is experiencing a force, right, then it must be trying to expand outwards, right? Okay. If I can increase the force to such an extent where the force due to the molecules becomes so large that the container cannot hold its integrity, it will explode, right? And that is what happens when you play around with a pressure cooker, which you should not do. That is why the pressure cooker, if you see, has got lots of safety valves. And if somebody were to block these safety valves, put some water in the pressure cooker and turn up the heat, then eventually the pressure cooker will burst. Remember that there is nothing inside the pressure cooker except water, right, which has inside the pressure cooker converted into steam, and its molecules are behaving like this, what you see on your screen, okay? And ultimately, the molecules have such a huge amount of motion and they apply so much force on the walls of the container that the thing explodes, okay? In fact, the molecules that are applying force on the container walls will apply force on anything that is in contact with the molecules. So molecules किसी के साथ भी भिड़ जाएंगे, उनके साथ force apply, उनके ऊपर force apply कर. Just like if you remember, there was a game जिसमें एक दूसरे को ball से मारते थे, right? So you take a ball and you try to hit somebody with it. Not advisable, but if you do, तो चोट लगती है. Why? Because when the ball hits the person, the ball applies a force on the person, and that is the cause of pain, okay, right? So imagine then teeny tiny balls, these molecules, you can consider them as teeny tiny balls, moving around with large, huge velocities and hitting you everywhere. What would happen, right? What would happen? What do you think will happen? Well, it is happening right now, okay? It is happening right now. And we know this, this force that the molecules are applying on the container walls, we call it by a better name. We call it, anybody want to guess what do we call it? Well, anybody want to guess what is it called? The force with which, or a measurement of the force with which the molecules are striking the wall of the container. It is called, anybody willing to guess? It is called, well, you divide it by area. Then it is called pressure. Very good, beta. Very good, yes. So in fact, pressure, right, which you have learnt as force upon area, is actually the same thing as you getting hit by a ball, okay? Nothing different, except that the ball is very teeny tiny and the number of balls is huge, right? Okay. So right now, here there is air. Where you are watching this video, there is air, and so what is happening is that air molecules of the atmosphere are constantly hitting our skin, right? And therefore there is a constant force on the skin, and this is what is called atmospheric pressure. Of course, you must ask, why don't we feel it? The answer is simple, because there is pressure inside you as well, which is called blood pressure, and the blood pressure is countering the atmospheric pressure, right? Okay, this is how things work. So pressure is nothing but this incessant hitting of molecules on a surface, right? If you increase that, and temperature is nothing but the measurement of the motion of molecules. High temperature means high motion, and low temperature means low motion, right? If you increase the temperature, pressure will also increase, right? Okay. Okay, so now I want to go one step ahead now, and I want to ask, yeah, abhi hata do, please remove this. So I want to ask another question, and the question is that what will happen? What will happen if these molecules, they begin to move, right? And now you should ask, how can the molecules begin to move? Well, it's very easy actually. All you have to do is blow, right? Molecules in front of me are moving now away from me. What is the effect of this on this concept of pressure, on this, the molecules hitting and applying a force? I mean, so if I would do, so would the force here decrease because I have blown all the molecules away? Well, sort of, because when I blow, it is not as if I am, making the molecules go away. I am blowing more molecules on the region. But one thing that I am doing, and one thing that you must understand is that when I blow, right, I am giving the molecules an additional motion in this direction. Okay, I am giving the molecules an additional motion in this direction. So instead of hitting the skin like this, right, a particular molecule which is going to come down to hit my skin like this will be blown away like this, right? Okay. So it turns out that if I start blowing, by the way, I just before we discuss it, I just want to show one more concept of pressure, in the balloon, if you have seen, right? So in the balloon, this is exactly what is happening, right? You just put in more air, and when you put in more air, you're putting in more molecules, and therefore the balloon expands, and at a certain point of time, the pressure becomes too much for the balloon to handle, and it explodes. Okay, right? This is what happens. Okay. So coming back to now, when I blow, what is going to happen? When I blow air, what is going to happen? So again, please notice that there are molecules which are going to come down like this, which are coming down like this, which are applying a force on me right now. And when I blow them, then the molecules which was coming down sort of udhar chala gaya, right? And because of that, something is going to happen. And I want to show you what will happen. Okay? And the effects of me doing this and wind blowing is very, very different in terms of the magnitude of what is going to happen, right? So here we have a video of wind which is blowing. Okay, wind which is it is blowing on a roof, right? And you see what is going to happen. Yeah, so very different from what I was doing on my hand, right? I hope such a thing never happens to my hand. It cannot. So I want to show you this again. Yeah. So this is a CCTV footage of a storm, and the roof has been blown away. The roof of the building has been blown away by the strong winds. Now the question that I would like to ask is why? Okay. Why? What is the reason that the roof has been ripped out, literally ripped out, just because of the fact that wind was blowing? right? Just because of the fact that wind was blowing. Okay, once again, see it once again. Very good, yes. You know, absolutely right, absolutely right. Yes. High velocity, so high force. No, no, it does not work that way. No, no. Yes, very good, very good. नहीं बच्चा, wind had more force than the ship. No, 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 no. I'll show you, I'll show you. ये वीडियो हटा दीजिए वीडियो. I'll show you. So this is the roof. Okay, let's say that this is the roof. So what is happening? So we have molecules of air which are existing below the roof, right, inside the room, and they are in that jiggly kind of motion that I showed before, and as a consequence they are constantly hitting the upper end of the roof, lower end of the roof from below, right? And similarly there are molecules above which are hitting the roof from above, right? And it turns out that everything balances out. जितना force ऊपर से लग रहा है, उतना force नीचे से लग रहा है. But the thing is, who is applying the force? That is very important, right? Who is applying the force? It is the molecules. That is what is fascinating. And when there is wind, okay, when there is wind in this direction, right? When there is wind in this direction, what happens is that these guys, okay, they are deflected off. Okay, this is a very crude, this is a very crude explanation, but it sort of makes you visualize, right? So since these guys are deflected off, then the molecules below, they have not been deflected off. They are continuously hitting the bottom of the roof, right? So it was because of the air flowing above the roof that this roof was blown off, but the actual reason, the real reason, the thing which actually prompted, the thing which actually caused the roof to go like this was the molecules in the room, was the molecules inside the wind, inside the room, sorry. So if you don't want your roof to blow off, all you have to do is open your windows. अगर अंदर भी उतनी तेज हवा चल रही है, that's. So this is the basis of Bernoulli's theorem. This is the basis. This is what he actually worked out. So what he said was that, look, if there is a fluid, okay, and this word is very important. A fluid is both gas and a liquid. If there is a fluid which is moving through space, okay, if there is a fluid which is moving through space, right, then if you were to choose 2 points on the fluid, okay, any 2 points on the fluid, any 2 points where the fluid exists, let me call this point 1, let me call this point 2, right? And what Bernoulli said, I'm not going to go into the deep maths, but I will point out one relation that he gave, which was that the pressure of the fluid at this point plus some number, okay, we are not interested in this number, plus some constant multiplied by v square, where v is the velocity of the fluid, will be the same as the pressure at this point, okay, plus some number into the square of the velocity at this point, right? So I can write P1 plus something V1 square is equal to P2 plus something V2 square. Okay, right? This is Bernoulli's theorem, or Bernoulli's theorem. Okay, right? Now, what are the other applications that I can show you? I can show you a lot of applications of this. Okay? The roof wala example I have showed you. I can also show you this. You remember, if you take a piece of paper, okay, and standard A4 paper, put it on your desk, and you blow, but you don't blow at the paper, you blow just above the paper, right? So the wind is creating an effect exactly like this. So this is the paper now, not the roof, and you make the air flow above. तो मेरे हाथ के साथ तो नहीं हो पा रहा था because the mass of my hand is large, but paper का mass is very very small, and you will see that when you blow air above the paper will rise up. Okay, and the reason is that what you have done by blowing, okay, yes, exactly, yes, great, yeah. So Shivendra is saying that fast moving race cars create a great pressure. I will talk about that in a moment, Shivendra, in a moment. So when you blow air like this, what you are doing is you are taking these guys out of the equation. You are taking the molecules above the paper out of the equation. So everything which remains below, right? And let me show you how to apply Bernoulli's theorem here on the piece of paper. You take this as point 1 and you take this as point 2. So below the paper, the pressure is atmospheric pressure. And the velocity of air is 0. But above the paper, the pressure is something else, and the velocity has become something which you have created, right? And c is some number. So according to Bernoulli's theorem, P plus Cv square should be equal to PATM, or the atmospheric pressure. This means that because of your action of creating velocity of air, the pressure above has reduced, right? And since the pressure above has reduced, the force which was being applied by the air molecules in the downward direction has reduced, whereas the force being applied by the air molecules in the upward direction has not changed. So the net force is upwards and the paper will rise up, okay? I can show you another cool thing with this, okay? And let me just set it up here. So we have a table tennis ball, right? Okay, table tennis ball, and standard hair dryer, okay? And if I were to switch this hair dryer on, now you can't see it, of course, I can't see it also, nobody can see it, but there is a flow of air in this direction. There is a flow of air in the vertical direction. Now if I were to place this table tennis ball here, right, if I were to place table tennis ball, it will balance itself. Why is it balancing itself? Okay. Why is it balancing itself? Very, very fascinating. There is nothing, there is no strings, no nothing. And the best part is that if I try to push it out, it actually comes back. If I try to push it out, it comes back. Right? And I will tell you why that is. It is all because of Bernoulli's principle. But the cool thing is, nice thing is, that if I were to tilt the thing, right, up to a certain point, of course, it will still hold. You see, gravity is pulling it down here, but Bernoulli's principle is preventing the ball to fall. Right? Yeah? Very nice, very, very cool. And I will tell you why this is happening. Okay? I'll show it again. I'll tell you why this is happening. So, oops, sorry. So what we have is a flow of air which is going up like this. Now the moment I put a ball here, the flow of air becomes like this, right? I hope you will agree with this. Okay? In fact, the flow of air becomes thoda sa aise. This is how the flow of air becomes. So what is happening is what is happening is that at this point the velocity of air becomes less, and at this point velocity of air becomes relatively higher. Okay, so the pressure here increases according to this theorem, and the pressure here decreases according to this theorem, right? So since the pressure here is small and the pressure here is large, the ball is experiencing an upward force, and this upward force is balancing gravity. Okay, the upward force is balancing gravity. But this is not the best part. The best part is what happens if I push it out. Okay, what happens if I push it out? So when I push it out, okay, when I push it out, then what is going to happen is that the velocity of air here will be large, and because the ball has sort of gone out of the flow of air, okay, the velocity of air here will be small, and therefore the pressure here will be large and the pressure here will be small, and therefore the force experienced by the ball will be back. So if I push it out, it will come back. Right? This is very, very fascinating. I can't do the experiment with a big ball, of course. I can't do the experiment with a big ball, but I can show you. Okay, I can show you. If I only had a bigger hair dryer and a bigger ball like this guy, this is it, right? This is Bernoulli's principle, right? And yeah, so ये spin वाला मैंने try नहीं किया. I'll try the spin वाला thing. So you can spin it, and it will sort of keep on spinning for a while, right? So you can see he's trying to draw the flow of air, right? He's trying to draw the flow of air across the ball, right? Such a wonderful experiment. Pressure is inversely proportional to velocity. Yes, very nice, bacha. Square of velocity. Yeah, there is one more term here which is missing, so which we'll not talk about. But yes, if you are talking about the 2 points being at the same height, then definitely pressure is inversely proportional to the square of velocity. Okay, right? Okay, हाँ, ठीक है, हाँ, इसको हटा दो. Yeah, okay. So this is Bernoulli's principle. I can show you the experiment once again. This is I find it much better here, right? So I can इसको मैं टेढ़ा कर सकता हूँ. देखते हैं कहाँ तक जाता है. I don't know. Oh, यहाँ तक है. This angle, right? Very steep angle it goes up to. So does it work only for air? I think Shivendra was talking about racing cars. So I would like to tell you two things. Number one, this shape is called an aerofoil. Okay, this shape is called an aerofoil, and this is the cross section, right? So what this means is that the actual shape is here. It is like this, right? And when air flows like so, then what will happen is that because this region is protected basically from the air, this thing is blocking the flow of air, the velocity of air here becomes small, and this point is not protected, the air is not being blocked. So at this point the velocity of flow becomes large, and therefore the pressure here becomes large and the pressure here becomes small. Right? Can you guess where this happens? Can anyone guess where this happens? So if the pressure here is large and if the pressure here is small, this thing is going to experience a force in the upward direction. Right? It is going to experience a force in the upward direction. Right? And this is the mechanism with which aeroplanes fly. Right? This is the reason why your aircraft will accelerate to a very high velocity. And if you are ever sitting near the window seat, okay, please do take a look at the wings of the aircraft just before they take off. They actually change the shape of the wings before takeoff to this. आगे से आपको दिखाई देगा कुछ नीचे जा रहा है, पीछे से आपको दिखाई देगा कुछ नीचे जा रहा है, right? They are called slats, by the way. So they lower the slats to give the wing a particular shape, and as the aeroplane accelerates, the flow of air above the wing becomes very large, below the wing becomes very small, so there is a net upward force on the wings, and as the two wings go up, of course the aircraft which is attached to the two wings also goes up, right? Racing cars की बात कर रहे थे अपन, तो racing cars में you will see a shape like this. Again, this is a cross section. This is called a spoiler. If you Google spoiler, you will see. Okay. No, it is not moving upward to reach equilibrium. No, it is moving upwards because there is a net upward force on it. So this spoiler thing, when the air moves like this, what it does is that it is the opposite of this aerofoil. तो वो यहाँ पे एयर को ब्लॉक कर दे रहा है और यहाँ से एयर को जाने दे रहा है. तो here the velocity will become large, here the velocity will become small, and the pressure will become large, pressure will become small, so there is a net downward force on the spoiler. Okay, so as the racing cars, they are racing ahead with huge velocities. We want that these things should not fly away. Therefore, they must have these spoilers so that they are pushed down to the ground. Okay, otherwise, literally, इतनी तेज वो move करते हैं that they will, topple. Okay. So the next question that I want to answer is whether this thing works only for air or does it work for other liquids as well, right? And the answer is that it works for all fluids. Okay, and the experiment that I just showed you with air, I can also show you with water, right? Okay, and therefore we have the next video. You see, same experiment, but this time with water. So it is the water now, it is the flow of water which is generating the differential pressure, which is generating the difference in pressures, which is making the ball stay in equilibrium over there, right? So you see below the ball, the water literally comes to a stop, right? Therefore, the pressure there becomes large, and above the ball, the water speed is large. Therefore, the pressure comes down above. Okay. So I hope does it work with slurry? Very good question. Yeah, it will. Provided that slurry is obeying all the laws of fluid dynamics. It should not be a non-Newtonian fluid. As long as that is true, everything will work just fine. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to end here now. I hope you understood some things, right? What is the consequence of things being made up of atoms and molecules? I want to leave you with I will give you a bonus video, and this I want you to explain to me. What is happening here. If you can work out. I would like you to explain to me what is happening here. This is something very different from Bernoulli's theorem, slightly different from Bernoulli's theorem. Okay. Okay. Chalo, pehla first video please show. First video. You see now this is very different. What is happening here? Yeah, what is happening here? See, the ball is not inside that flow of liquid. The stream of liquid is teeny tiny as compared to the size of the ball, right? The flow of liquid is very, very small as compared to the size of the ball. but still the ball is maintaining itself in the air. Very, very fascinating. Why is this happening? This is not Bernoulli's. This is not Bernoulli's principle. I mean, partially it may be Bernoulli's principle, but it is not. Okay? Can you give me an explanation as to what is happening here? Mass of the ball is very low. So how does that? Okay, so if you want to answer this, you give me a WhatsApp this thing. Okay, you give me a WhatsApp message on this, and I'll tell you whether you are right or wrong. Okay, I will leave you with another video. We'll take a 5-minute break. I'll leave you with another video, and in this next video, they don't even have a ball. Okay, they don't even have a ball. It's just a cylinder. It's just a disc which is going to behave exactly like this ball. Right. So please send me the explanation for this if you can on. Right. So we'll take a 5 minutes break and then we'll continue with mathematics. Bye bye.